I'm humbled that we get an opportunity to have this program. I'm glad we're participating, and I'd love to expand it so the kids in our offices can be that much closer, because you know, what's going on now, we need each other.
I open my mouth and say I'm going to do something, and and then I find it really terrifying. And in that terror, is the answer, right? Is that putting one foot in front of the other leads us forward. Hand in Hand is an exciting new project for Medicine Wheel, and it's one that we see as creating a new model of inclusion, a new model of dialogue, a new model of understanding for populations that don't necessarily see eye to eye. We've created a workshop where we invite a small group of police officers and a small group of young people to come in and have a little introduction, a brief meditation. Then they cast their hands, have lunch, then we go to the photo studio.
Originally we had, about 9 officers come, and it was something of the unknown. So initially coming, I got the phone calls on the way. Everyone kind of knew what it was about, but really didn't understand it because it's something that us as police officers never have been part of. So going in, it was almost like the unexpected. So the officers were kind of, didn't really know what to expect. So it was definitely a different experience.
At the beginning, when they first walked in, I was kind of really intimidated because they were like all standing there with their uniforms still on and stuff. So I just started talking to them, and they was really open, and they were cooler than I thought they would be.
What I heard from the young people and the police officers involved were, that they've been very, very impressed and came into it somewhat skeptical, which is actually what we'd expect.
First thing that Officer Raul noticed about me was my New York Yankees hat. And he was telling me oh, I'm from New York. He's like, but you're from Boston, what are you doing with it on? And it was just laughter between us, so it was cool. And I just felt like he would be the officer that I could have that connection with.
Now what did I take away from that? Don't judge a book by its cover. Clearly, back when they all came back here, they were on their day off, they weren't working. I didn't think it was gonna go down as well as it actually did.
First, you make a cast of your hand with this stuff called Algasafe. Mix it up, people stick their hands in it, and it's ugh. But it dries fairly quickly in 10 minutes. And then we got this, it's a quick drying plastic, hardens very quickly. So as soon as you mix it, you gotta dump it into the cast that you just made of the person's hand, and it hardens in about 5 minutes. So they can instantly see the hand that they just cast. Then after, we spray paint them and then paint them with a couple different colors of paint to give them a bronze copper look.
Every hand's different, no hands are the same. They all have different marks on them, different hand imprints. Some even have bracelets on them and stuff, so it shows everyone's own story basically. That's how I look at it.
The most enjoyment I had was actually when we were at the studio, just seeing the excitement of the kids and the police officers when they're getting their photos taken, and they thought they were movie stars.
I had posted my picture with me and Officer Raul as my profile picture. People were also giving me the good hand, yo, that's amazing, bro. I can't believe you're doing this. This is what we need.
I saw a bunch of pictures on Facebook and Instagram of the kids with the cops and the kids making the stuff with the cops and taking the pictures.
I saw the 9 officers really building that relationship, but you can tell they were interested and they wanted to continue it. And I think the youth they can feel. That's why when you said originally, why didn't I just send anyone? The kids know when you don't care. We were developing relationships, and I think the kids really need that in their life.
This draws us together with the youth in our community, where there's so much right now, a lot of distrust. Programs like this are only going to bring us closer together and build this special relationship and make our job easier, and hopefully make these kids' lives a lot better.
This particular project kind of struck home for me a little bit because I used to have tons of problems with police, and now that I go back and think about it, I'm they weren't really so bad. I was usually doing something and they were just doing their job. So bringing them together kind of gets them to get a different view. So I think that's important, to just get people to know each other.
I just felt I had some type of power, I was a born leader, where if I took a step to do something positive, there'd be people that would follow.
I have 2 officers who are actually my mentor right now that help me out and check up on me, text me, you okay, you need anything? And that means the world because my mom's not here to do that. or anybody.
When we think of what we do with our hands, we hold hands, we pray with our hands. We also hit with our hands, we punch with our hands. When we look at this concept of hand in hand, it really is it's a language, and it's a way of inviting an intimacy and a closeness and a bond that is really everlasting.
It seems to me like it's a natural extension of what we do at Medicine Wheel, but this is really something I think kind of above and beyond what we've done in the past.
These are the type of youth-police dialogues that really break down the barriers that we're, unfortunately seeing around communities across this country. And programs like this really strengthen the relationship that we're looking for with communities.
Boston and the Commissioner is about innovative ideas, and I've never seen nothing more innovative than the Medicine Wheel. And I hope it continues to grow and we can work with youth all over the city.
It's one thing to talk about these issues being important. It's another thing to practice that and put together real application to bring people together.
We need more efficiency, more strength behind it. We need more support behind it because it takes way more than just a day and a few hours to be able to change something that's embedded in culture.
I think at first I was sort of saying, our guys are not going to like this touchy-feely stuff, to tell you the truth. But the response was overwhelming. They came back, they thought the world of those kids.
I feel like maybe this is what we need to do as a city, as like people, is with all the things that are going on in the news, and we need to get along. We need to get to know each other, and I feel like this is a good way to do that.
We see this project as a real invitation to the police of the city of Boston and the young people of the city of Boston to come together and to claim a partnership and to invest in each other, invest in the future of the city, invest in the future of relations throughout this country, really. And I'd love to see this project be the project that people say, well, this is how they do it in Boston.